Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to take our onions that we have either from the garden, or if you find a sale on them and you don't know what to do with them before they go bad, we're going to turn these into a caramelized onion jam. Now this does take a little bit of time to cook down, so please make sure you allot yourself at least an hour to an hour and a half of cook time on the stove. The last time I made this, I know the balsamic vinegar and sugar, once you combine those, it took almost an hour to get the syrup consistency that you want for canning. So just allot yourself some time in the kitchen. So let's take our onions and we'll get started. For this recipe, you are going to need 4 pounds of onions. We're going to do a variety. I have sweet Vidalia onions here, and then I have normal yellow onions here. So use whatever you have. If you do use the sweeter onions, you are going to have a sweeter end result. So keep that in mind if that's what you're looking for. What you're going to do is take a knife and you're going to slice these very thinly, and then you're going to put them into a large stock pot. So go ahead and get to slicing, and then I'll tell you what to do once you're finished. Now that our onions are in the pot, turn your burner on to a medium-high heat, and then you're going to add 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil to this. And then you're going to let this cook down. So probably 10-15 minutes you're going to let this cook. Give it a good stir. These onions are great on grilled cheese, hamburgers, anything you would want to put a caramelized onion on. Baked potatoes, anything. These are delicious for on this. But this is a little bit time consuming, making sure that, you know, these cook down properly and they're not going to burn to the bottom of the pot. So just let them sweat out and do their thing, and then just keep stirring them frequently to make sure that they're not burning on the bottom. Our onions right now are pretty translucent, but we want them to be a golden color before we start adding the rest of our ingredients. So just make sure that they have a nice golden color to them before you start adding your sugar and balsamic vinegar. To our onions, we are going to be adding 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And then get yourself a good balsamic vinegar. And we're going to be adding 1.5 cups of vinegar to this as well. Stir that in really well. And then you're going to cook this until it is syrupy. Now at this point you can add some fresh herbs. You can add some thyme and rosemary to that, 1 tablespoon fresh of each. Or if you choose to add dried, I prefer buying in bulk and getting mine ground up. So I'm going to have ground rosemary, 3/4 of a teaspoon of that, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground thyme. So we're just going to sprinkle that in there too. And then we'll give that a stir, and then we're just going to let this cook down. Before we put this in the jar, you want to add 2 teaspoons of canning salt. Once your onions are as thick as you want them to be, you're going to want to ladle them into your hot jars. And you're going to give yourself 1/4 inch of headspace in each jar. Take your knife then, run it along the edge to get any bubbles out, reduce the airspace in there, and wipe your rims off and put your lids on. And then we're going to process these in a water bath canner for 10 minutes. And guys, that's it. And I'll show you what they look like whenever they're finished. And they are delicious. We were able to get 6 half pints. And I did use the wide mouth when making this. You don't have to, it's just what I had on hand. Make sure you do a really good job of getting all of the residue off with a wet paper towel or wet rag, whatever you're using, because your lids will not seal if they're not clean. Finger tight, and then just keep doing that the whole way through, and then we'll water bath can these. Make sure your water level is 1 to 2 inches over top of your jars, and then go ahead and process these for 10 minutes. Due to my elevation, it will be 15 for me. So adjust your time accordingly to your elevation. You guys, this is absolutely delicious. It's okay to scrape the bottom of the pan and eat it while this processes too. This is what our finished product looks like. It is absolutely beautiful, and we have 6 half pints from that recipe. So, like I said before, you can use this on grilled cheese, roast, potatoes, anything you would want to put a caramelized onion on. Even though the recipe says it's a jam, it's just because of the sugar that's in it to preserve it. It is a little bit sweet, but it is going to be absolutely fantastic on hamburgers and grilled cheese. So, there you go. Give it a try and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks and have a great day.